Hello there. I'm gonna get right to it, people. Happy end of 2025. Have you had a good year? I have not. A lot of other people have had a very, very worse time, so we're all just kind of fucked, right? Positive, stay positive. Okay, thank you all for being here. It's December, yay, fucking kill me. What a better time to reflect on the past year than to do a little, roundup of things that have gone on in 2025. Me being the person that I am, I like to drown my sorrows in media consumption. And what do I love to do more than consume media is just get hit by something so sickeningly hard that it's all that my brain can think about for like months on end. And then I know everything about it, I tell everyone about it, and then I move on to something else, and the cycle just continues over and over and over again. I have no choice. This is how it is. I thought, what a better time to get all of this out of my system. So I'm just going to talk about these little things now. These are all things that you could say I'm a really big fan of. Here is everything that I hyperfixated on in the year 2025. I'm going to be quite real. I already recorded this entire video. Quite honestly, it was just a lot of me yelling and rambling. I don't really think that would make for a good video, so I'm doing it again. Round 2, baby. I am going to try to convince as many of you as possible to like the things that I like, or at least logically explain how I got to this point in my life. First up, Epic the Musical. This is a surprise to absolutely no one. Pretty much from like July of 2024 all the way through March of 2025. I'm gonna be real, that one got me good. It got me real good. Now, if you're here, I'm assuming that you know what this is, right? If you don't know what this is, how did you get here? Genuinely, I would love to know. But anyway, I don't need to explain all of this. If you want to know a reason why you should listen to Epic the Musical, I already made an entire video about it. Go watch that. Don't watch that. It's far too long. However, musical about the Odyssey, I do like it a lot. It's very good. When I say I hyperfixated on this, I mean real bad. This was, in fact, the only thing that I listened to for about 9 months straight. At one point, my friend got into the car with me and I didn't have Epic the Musical playing, and she's like, what happened to your little Greek musical? Are you okay? So that was the point I was at. However, I stand by that. Still a good musical, still like it very much. I will say I did kind of rekindle this love a little bit the other day because I'm due to be sitting in a bed for a while in the upcoming week. So I was like, hey, you know what would be fun is if I like put together a little preferred Animatic playlist so I could basically like sit and watch all of the little animatics I like in chronological order, just go through the whole musical. I thought that would be fun. No, it sent me down a rabbit hole again. I'm kind of back in it, baby. All right, attempt number 3 at filming this. Look, every time I've just gotten a little too lost in the sauce. I forgot that like the whole point of this section was to give you like an updated ranking of like my top epic songs. And now that I've had time to like sit and stew in it, I'm ready. So, my favorite is still Underworld Saga. I fucking love Underworld Saga. However, I think objectively, Ithaca Saga is like the strongest, and also Thunder Saga. Thunder Saga, perfect. No notes. Every song in there is so good. Every song in this musical is good, but like Thunder Saga and Ithaca Saga are both like perfect little like contained units. For the songs, I think Would You Fall in Love with Me Again is like objectively the best song in the entire musical. It's the perfect ending. I love it when like endings live up to the expectations that we've had for them. That being said, personal list, my personal preference, Ruthlessness, number 1. I'm an edgelord, what can I say? 2, Odysseus. Odysseus is just so fucking good. Like I said, edgelord. Is it a little concerning that my 2 favorite songs in this are songs that I think have the highest kill counts? Oopsies. Thunderbringer is also like a perfect song. It's so good. Okay, we're getting off topic. So, Ruthlessness, Odysseus. Number 3, I Can't Help But Wonder. I love that song. Look, it's like if Would You Fall in Love with Me Again was a platonic love song. Miko's voice is just so good. And Tegan and Jay, they all do so good. I love that song. All right, number 4. What am I feeling? What did I say this was? Number 4 has to be Legendary. Legendary is so goddamn good. Legendary is one of those songs where like the more I listen to it, the more I like it. And also every single time I hear it, I immediately get like a serotonin boost. Number 5, Coming in Strong. I'm Not Sorry for Loving You. Look, that song is incredible. I love it. It's so good. Barbara. Oh, Barbara. Look, no one is more bummed that Wouldn't You Like had to be cut from this list, but like I have to keep it to 5. Like last time I had like 8 songs in there. I'm keeping it to 5. Cut and Dry, 5 right there. Just kidding, I lied. Extra 6th one is Charybdis. Special shout out. I fucking love Charybdis. You will pry that song from my cold dead hands. I love that song. All right, moving on. Next up. Infernal War Saga. I have talked about this book multiple times already this year because it got me real good. Definitely from like January to February was when I read the first 2 books in this series, that being Prince's Poison Vow and Emperor's Bone Palace. Ayo. Now, I do recall talking about this book in my wrap-up video from last year. So I went back to watch it earlier today just to see what exactly I said about this. Realized I was wearing the same exact outfit. I looked identical. Are you fucking kidding me right now? Look, same thing, same hair, everything. This is embarrassing. Hair tie in the hair. That's the only difference. That's it. Goodbye. Also came to the realization that I talk incredibly slow. Peace and love, I do not know how y'all watch these ever. I don't know if you can tell, but whenever I edit, I listen to it back on 2 times speed. I can't spend that much time listening to myself. It's awful. Hearing myself talk at regular pace is excruciating. So anyway, we're going fast. These books, oh my God, they're incredible. Don't even get me fucking started on them, all right? If I had to describe these books, it would be like a steampunk geopolitical fantasy. Basically, there's all of these different countries on a continent. One of them experiences a coup and gets overthrown, and then the book series explores like the next like 20 years of all of like the lost children from this throne going back and trying to reclaim power, and basically how all of the other countries are like manipulating them and like trying to get their grubby little fingers in there because everyone gets drawn into this political battle. It's very messy. However, it's so much fun. Also, have I mentioned that everyone is gay? They're kind of romance books. I'm not gonna lie, they're kind of romance books. They're not romance books. They're about politics. However, there's so much fucking. Like, I cannot state this enough. These are mature books. But once again, everyone is gay. They're all having a great time. They all love each other very much. Now, as I might have mentioned, this is possibly one of my favorite book series ever. But holy shit. Holy shit, guys. I have just been yapping about these books to fucking everyone I can find. Every single person, because I'm like, someone needs to read these books. Because currently I know like 2 people in the world who have read these books, and I need there to be more. Look, I need someone else to take this up as a hobby because currently it's just me and I want fan art. Please, I'm begging you. Just again, I do want to point out, to put it lightly, these books are very mature. Whenever I tell people about these books, I have to be like, okay, they're so good. It's like Game of Thrones, but everyone is gay. But listen, hey, it's so horny. Whatever the level of smut that you're used to, that's here. These books are here. Like, it's not even fucking close. Genuinely, 50 Shades of Grey might be easier to read than this. I don't know. I've never read it. I'm not interested. Why? Because they're not gay. Simple enough. But these books are so good. Oh my God, the plot is so intricate. I love it. I love it so much. Oh my God, Soren and Vanya and Blaine and Hanovi and Karis and Nathaniel. Everyone's so great. I support women's wrongs. I don't want to talk about it. We got to keep going. Keep the train going. Choo-choo, let's go. Next up, Hunger Games series. Once again, I don't need to explain what the Hunger Games is to you. I'm assuming you've been alive for more than a decade. This more specifically got kicked off once again by the release of Sunrise on the Reaping, a book that I did not realize was coming out until about 3 days before it was released. However, I loved it. I love the Hunger Games books so much. They are, in fact, the only book series that I've successfully reread in my life because I barely read. However, the first time through reading these in high school, I read The Hunger Games for a class assignment, and then I liked it, so I read Catching Fire the next day, and then I read Mockingjay the next day, and then I went back and read Hunger Games again the next day, and then I read Catching Fire the next day, and then on the 5th day of this bender, the person who was lending me the Mockingjay book is like, no, you've had enough. You're done. To be fair, good call. However, it could have been worse. One of my friends did see Hunger Games 14 times in the theaters. So at least I'm not there. But like rereading these again in 2025, I gotta say, like, they age so well. Like Suzanne really knows what she's talking about. It got even better the second and third read through. Also, after having read Sunrise on the Reaping and having the context there, I didn't explain this. Sunrise on the Reaping is a story about the Hunger Games that Haymitch is a part of. That's his story when he's a kid. It's very tragic. It's the second quarter quell, and in that one, they had twice the amount of contestants reaped. So there's 4 kids from each district being murdered. So really, it's about the friends we made along the way, and then watch die horrible deaths. Yay, child murder! Once again, if you've read the Hunger Games series before, but you have, for some reason, not heard of Ballad of Songbirds and Snakes or Sunrise on the Reaping, I would highly recommend them. They are spin-offs of the original trilogy. However, like, they really add something to the story. These aren't just, like, you know, fucking, like, cheap, like, money grabs. Suzanne knows what she's fucking talking about. I trust Suzanne so much. Suzanne, please never betray me. Once again, Sunrise about Haymitch, Ballad of Songbirds and Snakes is about young Coriolanus Snow, young President Snow, and how he grew up to be the fascist militant leader that he is today. I hated him in the book. He was awful, but it is very refreshing to see, like, a book told from the villain's point of view, who they're not trying to justify it. They're like, no, you're a piece of shit. You really are. Anyone who does try to justify it, please seek help. Next up, Baby No Money. If you don't know who Baby No Money is, you may have never been on TikTok before. He is a part-time musician, full-time cosplayer on TikTok. He is a rapper from Canada who makes like a really like fucking like funny music. The lyrics are hilarious. It's not like satire on rap, but like it's just like self-aware. So the lyrics are fucking hysterical. I don't know how to explain all of this in like rational conversation, but like he's dropped some of like the craziest lines I've ever heard in my life. However, all of the songs are like really genuinely good. If you hear them once, you're like, oh, this is funny. And then once you listen to them again and again and again, you're like, oh, these are catchy. These will stick in your head and they're never gonna fucking leave. He's also on like a journey to just complete every single side quest in the world, which is great. I mean, if I had the money and the time, I would also do that. Truly, like, you cannot comprehend what is going on in this man's mind. I can't. That's fine. I'm just along for the ride. Also, as I said, musician creative that he is the #1 AI hater on the planet, which is so refreshing to see. I love that. I love it when people hate AI so openly and just shit all over it because it sucks. It's not good. I don't like it. Boo, AI stinky, bad, no. However, being the AI hater that he is, he uses his resources and, you know, influential power to really like boost up other creatives, which is great. He spends his time and money commissioning artists for single covers for like entire music videos. One of the songs on his recent album, the music video for it is just completely animated by like 20 different artists. It's sick. I love seeing everyone's different like takes and styles that they have. Now, once again, these are hyperfixations. So while I have not seen every single interview with him, because once again, he does a million interviews, I did listen to every single song that he's made in about 2 days. There's a lot of songs. I listened to all of them. I will say, from the interviews that I have seen of him, he does seem pretty chill, and might I say, not a complete piece of shit. Once again, very refreshing. Now, if you are interested in listening to any of these songs, like I said, there's so goddamn many. However, I would recommend 2, Sriracha, Check, It Boy, Top Gun, Bad Boy, Help Herself, I Remember. And also, if you just want to check out like the newest album, it's called Baby No Money. He's also called Baby No Money. I think that album's really good. It is quite fun. It's very silly. Mary Poppins gets stuck in my head too much. He also does a song with Rebecca Black. Did I also mention that he's essentially like a straight drag queen? I love that. That's so great. Good for him. Next up, we have Voltron Legendary Defender. Look, what can I say? You know what? We've all got our little things, okay? And this happens to be my little thing for the year, all right? Voltron 2025, baby, let's go. This is so goddamn embarrassing. I can't believe that I fucking fell into this. What is Voltron and what is KLANCE, you might be asking? Don't ask. Genuinely is kind of embarrassing to be getting into KLANCE in 2025. However, I don't care. Now, if you have never heard of Voltron, this is my plea to run and never look back. Don't get involved with it. Just don't do it. If you're still here, it is in fact a show about child soldiers in space. That's basically how I can sum it up. Am I the best person to sum it up? No, I'm definitely not. Why is that? Because I've never seen a single episode of Voltron in my life. I have watched maybe like 6 minutes worth of clips from the show. That's it. Everything else has been just fucking like fan art. I think it's the best call by me. quite frankly. Honestly, at this point, I don't think I will watch any of it. I would love to watch it. I would have loved to watch it earlier this year. However, thinking back on it, I don't think it would be a good thing for me to do. Like, I know the show was really good. I was aware of Voltron when it was airing, but at that time, I had gotten off of Tumblr because I was very genuinely addicted to it during high school. So I was like, I need to leave. And so I was like, oh, Voltron, that's something that's going on. I can't do that for my own sanity. And here I am now. Don't do drugs, kids. At this point, I know how the show ends. I know the incredible like trajectory that it started off with, and then just like the fucking abysmal Game of Thrones ending that it has. I think I'm gonna make an executive call on this one and say, I'm not gonna watch the show. That's it. However, all of the fan media poured straight into my mouth. When I say I've been hyperfixated on them, again, just from Fanart. This is all from Pinterest. Pinterest is my new Tumblr. Don't do drugs. I just got recommended some KLANCE fan art on Pinterest. It's been downhill from there, baby. Since May, when I got into this, I have genuinely spent like 75% of my waking hours thinking about these two homos. Again, it's not something I'm proud of, but I am stating this just because it's a fact. It's true. What do you want me to do about it? I will say I've loved every second of it. And also, Pidge is my girl, ride or die. I love her. As I mentioned, everything that I've consumed up to this point has all been fan works, mostly fan art. Ikimaru, this is your fault. I've also just read a quite frankly insane amount of fan fiction. I believe in the last video that I made about Voltron, once again, having never seen the show, I mentioned that I was in the middle of reading Dear Reader by Heavily Caffeinated. Incredibly good, I might add. I since finished that. I also read Mightier Than the Sword, another KLANCE fan fiction, also by Heavily Caffeinated, which, oh my god, it's so good. Not only like from like a fandom perspective was it good, but like genuinely the writing that like this author has, she's incredible. The whole story is about I'm getting so off topic. Like, when I say that this fanfiction is well written, I mean it's well written. Like, there are 3 different storylines going on to keep track of here. There's like the actual storyline, which is, you know, these two falling in love. And then since it is about a writer's retreat, it's about both of the stories that these two are writing. There's 3 completely separate tones here, and they're all handled like incredibly well. Genuinely, some of the best writing I've seen in years. If she was like a published author, I would pay money for it. It's that good of writing. And I don't appreciate shit, all right? But anyway, I loved it. I would highly recommend those two. Also, I'm currently reading one called Escape Velocity. Banger. Even if you're not the best writer, even if you're not the best artist, even if you're not the best singer, whatever you make is still better than AI. Because that's fucking garbage. Moving on. Oh yeah. One last thing I want to point out. I get most of my content for this from Pinterest. Peace and love. Y'all are so great. I 100% support you being little freaks on the internet. I really do. However, you do know that board names are public, right? Never change. Moving on, my next hyperfixation that I had this year was an animatic about Genshin Impact by the song Into You by Paramore, wonderfully animated by Livy Art on YouTube. Holy shit, y'all. Now, look, I do not know anything at all about Genshin Impact other than the fact that gambling is bad. Do not start playing Genshin. It is a gacha game. They will steal all your money. I've seen far too many Genshin animatics. I thought about getting into Genshin for a bit just as like a joke, but then I decided, no, it's not worth the joke. It's bad, bad, bad. Gambling, bad. Money, stealing, bad. Get help. Now, how does one become hyperfixated on a very specific animatic, you ask? Thank you. Everything in this animatic is just like done so incredibly well. Oh my god, I know the story that's going on. I get the vibes. I get everything. I've never played Genshin in my life, and I never will. But I can tell you exactly what's going on between these two. Have I mentioned they're gay? I don't know what their names are. I don't know what any of their names are because they're so goddamn confusing. I think some of them have multiple names. I don't get it. However, I like all of Livy Art's Genshin content. It's very good. Also, this might just be the main reason I got into this, but like, God, Hayley Williams has such a good voice. I think part of the reason why I got really into this was because I remembered how good of a singer Hayley Williams is, and then this was my way to listen to the song again, and I just kept going. When I say I was hyperfixated on this, I mean that when this video came out, I watched it at least 5 times a day for 3 weeks straight. That's too many times. However, I don't regret any of it. Every single time this pops up on my feed as like, hey, you want to watch it? I go, absolutely, I want to watch it. And I watched it again, and it was great. I watched it earlier today. Incredible. No notes. It's beautiful. Go watch it. Infernal War Saga, round 2. Let's go, baby. Let's go. Something about me is that whenever I get really into a story that I like, I'm scared that it's going to end, and I don't like that. So what do? I don't finish it, because if I don't finish it, then it's not over. So, in incredible me fashion, I read Prince's Poison Vow within like 3 days. I read Emperor's Bone Palace within 3 days. This was in the beginning of January. By the time I got to Queen Starfire Throne, and I thought, I'm good for a bit. So I just waited until June, and I didn't read it. Because if I don't read it, then it can't end. And I don't want it to end. However, I did read it, and it was so good, and it was so worth it, and I love this series so much. Please, someone read these books. I love them so much, and I need someone to understand the fucking shitstorm that is going on here. It is so incredible. You want to know how obsessed I am with these books? I'll tell you. I'll show you. Don't even worry. Not only do I own 1 full copy of this book series, I own 2 full copies of this book series right here, baby. Let's go. And not only do I own 2 entire copies of this book series, there's actually 6 books. One of them I lent to someone, and they haven't read it yet. Count your fucking days. The first copy is my copy. The second copy is my copy, but signed. That's right. I went and rebought all of these books just to get them signed, because I am in fact on Haley Turner's email list, and I love reading her little newsletters. In my defense, these are intended to be gifts. One of them is in fact a gift for me. Yeah, I regret nothing. Truly, I love these books so much. Please, someone, hey, look, one of you. It only takes one of you. Hey, read these books. Look at me. Read these books. Moving on. Next hyperfixation I had, y'all know the song Ordinary by Alex Warren? I can explain. This song is pretty good. It's a pretty good song. It was like #1 on the billboards for quite some time. I really like his voice. You know, when someone's voice just like hits the exact right pitch in your brain and it makes your ears really happy. That's where I'm at. I really like his voice. I think it's very nice. Now, look, I don't know anything about him personally. I did look up some of his other songs because the vibe of this is giving like Christian rock, meaning that like it's a very good song and I like it, but I'm like, wait a second. Is this about Jesus? Which I don't love. However, I don't think it's Christian rock. So like, I think he's fine. Once again, I don't know that much about him, but like he seems fine. Oh, what was that? He was a member of the Hype House? The den of child TikTok creators? What? I don't have time to get into that. I'm moving on. I will say that this hyperfixation is mostly due to a low blood induced vision trance that I got sent into while at the blood center. They had this song on the radio. At this point, I'd heard the song maybe like 2 times and I was like, oh, this is really good. He has a nice voice. The third time I heard it, I just kind of fucking lost it. I just zoned out and stared at a wall and came up with like an entire animatic on the spot to this song in full. I do know for a fact that I looked like a lunatic because one of the technicians did come up to me and was like, are you okay? And I was just sitting there like, yeah. She's like, are you sure? I'm like, uh-huh. However, the animatic that's in my brain is really good. It's really good. I'm gonna make it one day. Just you wait. You'll see. You'll all see. When I say this was a hyperfixation, I mean that I listened to this song upwards of 40 times over the next 2 days. Look, I was really hammering out that animatic. I got the whole thing down. By the 3rd day, I genuinely sat down and was like, I can't do it. Don't. I know myself too well. I'm like, you're not allowed to listen to the song anymore, which sucks because it's on the radio constantly. And every single time I do hear it, I just get hit with fucking like war flashbacks of this animatic. Next up, K-Pop Demon Hunter soundtrack. Whoa, what a shock. Crazy. Now, when I say that I had a hyperfixation with K-Pop Demon Hunters, I will admit that like it was above the normal level of liking something that most people experience. However, when looking at everyone else that watched this movie, I would say my reaction was pretty tame. Like, I would say for me, the movie was like a 3 out of 10, but the soundtrack is like a 10 out of 10. And this is not like a quality rating scale. This is like the hyperfixation scale. The movie, 10 out of 10. But like the level of hyperfixations for me was only a 3, but the soundtrack got me good. It's one of those things where like the more you listen to it, the better it gets. I have not gotten to the point where I've decided to learn the Korean lyrics because once again, I know my limits. However, all of the English, I got down, baby. Don't worry about it. Now, some thoughts on the soundtrack. Your Idol 100% worked as intended. This song was created to be the demon boy band's like take over the world anthem. I'm gonna get stuck in your head. I'm gonna ruin your life song. Absolutely fucking worked for me. I have genuinely listened to the song 10 times in a row, multiple days, multiple weeks, for multiple months. What? I'm a sheep. Okay, I'll admit it. Look, some of us have to be. Now, one hot take for you. I do love Golden. I think it's an incredible song. No notes. However, I think This Is What It Sounds Like is a better song. I also think that just given, like, you know, the context of the movie, it should definitely be a bigger hit than it was. Once again, I love Golden. Soda Pop is fine. Soda Pop also gets the job done of just being, like, mindless garbage that's so catchy that everyone loves it. But This Is What It Sounds Like, I think, is a hidden gem of this movie. It's so good. It's so good. Oh my God, they're such good singers. Jesus Christ. Next up, some webtoons. We have Starcatcher and Osora. First off, I just want to say that I started reading Starcatcher because of a comment that someone left on a video of mine. So I want you to know that, like, you did this. You did this. This is your fault. Thank you. I've had a great time. These two webcomics here, very different. However, I am going to kind of lump them together because in my brain, they take up the same space. So starting off, Starcatcher is just like this wonderful little story about like our two main characters here, Tommy and Lucas, just like falling in love with each other. They're in college. It's just them, you know, like figuring things out. I love them. They're so goddamn wholesome. It makes me sick. If you read this, there's not a single panel in the entire comic where at least like one of them isn't blushing. They love each other so much, right out of the fucking gates too. On the other side of things, we have Osora. Where do I even start? Okay, this is a webcomic set in like this fantasy kingdom where there's the humans and then there's this race of like demonic people called the Surgos. The Surgos are of course attacking the humans for, you know, like subjugating them for years and treating them like animals. I don't blame them. They're kind of right. However, our protagonists are humans, so that's who we're sided with. This whole story is about like the war that's going on between the humans and the Surgos. The Surgos have a plot to take over the kingdom by kidnapping Prince Osora and basically like giving him Surgos powers to then turn him into a weapon to basically attack all of the human kingdoms. Meanwhile, while that's going on a more personal level, the story is about Prince Osora and his best friend slash bodyguard slash love interest Arius. My God, these two are just so horny. Oh my God. Like, again, Starcatcher, so wholesome, so sweet. I love it. Osora gets a little fucking wild. I think it reaches like the maximum amount of horniness that Webtoon will allow, and they're pushing that limit like every single week. Did I also mention everyone here is very incredibly gay? Also, Osora is trans. Love to see it. Once again, they've got incredible plot lines. They have just the most beautiful art you've ever seen. All of these characters are just so well written. All of the side characters, incredible. Love them. Tommy here, wonderful. Most wonderful person in the world. Luke here, just like a little ball of sunshine. I love him so much. Osora, so feisty. I love him. He's got a fucking attitude. Arius, he's fine. Arius is not my favorite. However, I will say that Arius is objectively a good person. But like, you've got some problems you gotta work out, my guy. You really do. Go to therapy. But like overall, a good person, I will say. Even all of the side characters in all of these stories are incredible. Like Starcatcher, I want to know everything about everyone else there. In Osora, oh my God, there's so many fucking side plots in Osora. But like all of these characters I care so genuinely about. Like Mal, I want him to be reunited with his wife so badly. And also like Miko, my sweet baby boy Miko. leave him. Also, I do just want to point out that, like, the little doodles, the little, like, goofy little guys that they have in Starcatcher are so cute. I love that little style. Now, I will say, if you are looking to check out either of these, once again, would highly recommend it, but I do want to point out that these do come with a lot of content warnings. For Starcatcher specifically, it deals with a lot of issues surrounding, like, anxiety, mental health, self-harm. And Osora also deals with issues of like sexual assault, transphobia, generalized homophobia. I will say that everything here is handled with extreme care, and I think everything is done very, very well. Also, on like the specific episodes that do deal with these more sensitive topics, they are clearly labeled, like there's no way you could miss that. But I do just want to put that out there. If those are like sensitive topics for any of you, maybe don't. You know, use your best judgment. One other thing that I would like to point out is Webtoon, the platform that these are original on, notoriously stinky website. They don't treat their artists well. They don't pay their artists well. It's kind of like a gacha system, but for webcomics instead of online games. I don't love it. However, I love these stories, and it's the only way I can have access to them. If you do want to see more content by the artists out of Webtoon's grasp, they do have Patreons. One thing about the Patreons, they both do contain mature 18 plus content, if you get my drift. I will say that I have not signed up for either because I don't particularly want to see that. However, I am signed up for Rotania's free version, and Patreon does send you like blurred out versions of, you know, posts that are made. Even if they're locked. I think they need to work on their blurring feature because I've seen full schlong. Maybe that's their goal. Maybe that's to entice people. Anyway, go support artists. That's the point of this. One last thing that I want to point out about these two incredible works. Both of these involve like MLM romance. And you know, we love some yaoi over here. Of course we do. Look at us. However, come for the yaoi, stay for the yuri. You catch my drift? Look at these ladies. Look at all these beautiful ladies. We've got so many lesbians to choose from. I love them all so much. Yuri supremacy. Let's go. 2026, baby. Next up, Conan Gray, the real life human being. I got really into Conan Gray this year. Now, if you've never heard of Conan Gray before, he had a really popular song back maybe like 4 or 5 years ago. Heathers, that was him. That's our guy. I really got suckered into his music very specifically by the YouTube algorithm suggesting the This Song music video for me. This Song is the name of the song, by the way. Before that point, I had heard like 2 Conan Gray songs in my life. I had heard Heathers when it came out, and then I had heard Lonely Dancers when that came out. The first time I heard Heathers, I totally misread the situation. I clocked that it was gay, but I couldn't figure out how it was gay. I thought he was singing about a girl who was in love with Heather instead of him singing about a guy who is in love with Heather. We see the things we want to see. Yuri, 2026, bring it back. Now, since falling into this little rabbit hole in August, I have just listened to his entire discography, and oh my God, he fucking kills it. Even like the very, very early stuff, EPs when he was an actual child, are fucking killer. Like Generation Y, Crush Culture, Greek God, like those are all banger songs. Everything since that point has been equally incredible. Also, I hear people complaining a lot that like there are no male pop stars. What do you call this? Get your head out of your ass. Now, as for hyperfixation levels, prior to this year, I had never been to a concert in my life. At the end of this year, I have now been to one concert in my life. That was to go see Conan Gray. Totally worth it. Absolutely worth it. I went by myself. I drove multiple hours to be there. I listened to Conan Gray the entire way there. I sat through the entire concert of him singing, and then I drove back listening to Conan Gray the entire way home. Could not recommend it more. I had a great time. Oh my God, he's such a great vocalist. The stage presence was incredible. The outfits were so cute. Oh my God, he looked like a little angel. I get why people go to concerts now. I really do. It was so much fun. I had a great time. Now, if you've never listened to any of his music or you want like specific things to go check out, look up the VMA performance that he did this year. It's of his song Vodka Cranberry. The thing is set up as like a Romeo and Juliet setting. He looks like such a fucking prince. Oh my God, he's beautiful. And it has a high note like you would not believe. Also, he does do a really good cover of The Subway by Chappell Roan for like BBC Radio. It's incredible. I love it so much. It's so good. I make everyone that I know listen to that cover because it's so goddamn good. That's all I have to say. I think he's great. He's a little cutie patootie. Oh, songs. If you want more song recommendations beyond these, I will say on Wishbone, I think my favorite song is 1111. Vodka Cranberry really snuck up on me. I think Killing Me is my favorite song. Also, Fainted Love is such a sad song, but it's got such a fucking catchy beat that it's so good. I love those. Maniac, People Watching, Wish You Were Sober. Any other songs I forgot? Put them here. They're all so good, genuinely. I love them all so much. Next up, Malevolent the podcast. Hey, you know who you are. You told me to listen to this podcast and I ignored you for a few months on accident. And then you left another comment and then I said, I got you. And I listened to it. This is your fault. You did this. Thank you. I've had a great time. Oh my fucking God. Okay. Listen to me on this one. Like, I don't want to be the person who's like, hey, you want to hear about the podcast that I'm listening to? But do you all want to hear about the podcast I'm listening to? Like, this is worth it. This is the podcast we're talking about. Malevolent is, I can only describe this as like a disgustingly violent, frightening eldritch horror story told through podcast form. It's the story of Arthur Lester, a private detective who wakes up one day from being knocked unconscious and he can't see. And he hears this voice in his head who says that they have control over his eyes and is, like giving him instructions on what to do. His PI partner, his dead body's on the floor and he's like, fuck, I gotta get out of this situation. And from that day, this man has never known a minute's rest. It just all goes downhill from there. Arthur and John, the voice inside of his head, his name is John. These two are insane. I can't do it. It's so good. It's basically just them like exploring this like supernatural horror world and everything goes wrong. Like objectively, they've never had a worse time in their life, but I'm having a great time listening to it, and that's what matters. The voice acting in this podcast is some of the best voice acting I've ever heard in my life. Genuinely, like these actors are giving it their fucking all. Like the sound design in here is insane. The music that they put in, all of like the background noises and like the performances that these two give. Oh my God. Even all of like the background characters too are insane. Kellen is so horrifying. That genuinely freaked me out when I heard that. Kane is, oh my God, Kane's such a fucking character. Kane comes in some of the later seasons. He's basically like Negan, in The Walking Dead, Jeffrey Dean Morgan. It's basically that where it's like an antagonist who you hate, who you're like, this is objectively a bad person, but goddamn if you don't put on a good show. Oh, I just finished season 5 earlier today. Yorick. I love Yorick. I think he's a great character, but everyone is incredible. The plot of the show is insane. Once again, it starts off on these two investigating like some weird culty shit that's going on. They just get like pulled into this insane like tangle of like webs and like just shit that's going on, and everything is so good. There are like little teeny tiny little plot details that come up in like, a second of one episode, and then like 3 seasons later they're like, hey, you remember that? If you've listened to season 4, like the breathing in the wall in Addison, when they circle back to that, I was like, holy fucking shit, that's some good writing. Also, like using the medium of a podcast for this like version of storytelling is insane because the main character cannot see. He can only hear what is being spoken to him by John and only like see the world through that sense. And that's how we're experiencing it. So like, it's like, we're Arthur. Insane. Also, like, I just gotta say, like, the twists and turns that this thing takes is incredible. Even if I can see where the plot is going sometimes, like, genuinely, I scream at least once per episode because it's insane.
In every vertebra. You, Arthur.
I spent all day yesterday painting, and I listened to 7 episodes of this. They're like an hour long each. I listened to an entire season within the past 2 days. I just finished The Wager earlier today, the finale of season 5. Oh my God. Also, I will say that like while it is like very intense, it does give off the vibes of like Over the Garden Wall, how it's just like unsettling and weird, but kind of charming, but in like a much more like gruesome and horrific way. Like Over the Garden Wall objectively is for children. This is not for children. The sound design in this is horrific. You hear the most disgusting, like wet, sloppy, squelching noises you've ever heard in your life, and I love it. It's like evil ASMR. Also, while this is like suspenseful and horrifying and objectively awful, genuinely has like really great comedy in it. Like whoever's writing this, whoever's putting it together, they know how to make a good joke. If anyone's listened to it, you know, the ending of the witch episode, I genuinely have gone back and listened to that like 5 times. It's so fucking funny. It gets me every time. Objectively, not a funny moment, but really funny editing.
Did it?
One last recommendation for this. If you do want to listen to this podcast, I would highly recommend listening to the playlist that they have on YouTube. They do have all of the episodes like numbered, but occasionally in between seasons, they have like a little interlude that's not numbered. So like if you're not listening to the playlist, you'll click on the next episode and you're like, what the fuck is going on? I have no context. The other half of the time, you will click on it and be like, I don't know what the fuck is going on. And it's intended to be like that, but you know, listen to the playlist. Last up, have y'all heard about the horny Canadian hockey show? I have. Heated Rivalry is like if porn was a show and if it had a plot. However, it's so goddamn good. Oh my God. Okay, Heated Rivalry. This is a story. I can quote the trailer like by memory at this point. I got really into this when the trailer dropped like 2 weeks before the show actually premiered. I've seen every single interview with these two. I've watched like most of them with the director. I'm gonna be honest, I'm in real bad. It's not good. However, this show is really good. The story. 2 young hockey prospects in Major League Hockey. We have Shane Hollander and Ilya Rozanov. These two are facing off with each other on the ice and also falling in love behind the scenes. Yeah, it's hockey romance book, but before the hockey romance craze that started like 2 years ago. This is based off of a book series that's I think like 8 years old maybe. Also by a Canadian author. There's a lot of Canadians today. There's been 2. I take that back. Anyway, this is an insane thing for me to say. I understand that, but like whoever does the lighting in the show, oh my God, congratulations. Sir, ma'am, other, you do so good. I love your work. I'm a big fan. They just make those butts look so good. But like genuinely, the lighting in this show is incredible. It has like a very Euphoria feel to it. The music design is also like really intense and like they know how to create tension. I appreciate that everyone working on this show is like, we are making smut. We're making smut and we're gonna make it good. Also, one little last note that I would like to add about this. If y'all might have seen the little funny video that I made the other day that has gotten far too much attention, this is the origin of the beefcake cake. I wanted my friend to watch this show with me because I was yapping at her about it, and so I decided to go over there and I brought her a cake that looks like a man's tits. So then we could watch hockey porn show together. It went over really well. She's like, this show is pornography. And also I like it very much. Hell yeah, baby, let's go. By the way, if anyone here has now gained a sudden interest in hockey, might I interest you in the PWHL? What is the PWHL, you might ask? That is the Professional Women's Hockey League. It is a league that takes place in the US and Canada. It now has 8 teams in it. It's in its 3rd season, and every single game streams live on YouTube for free. You can watch them. The hockey is very, very good, extremely entertaining, just as brutal as men's hockey. I have not seen any fistfights so far. However, they do get up in each other's faces. PWHL, baby. Support women's sports. Let's go. That brings us to an end of my hyperfixation list. However, there were quite a few things that I got really into this year that weren't quite hyperfixations, but I still think should be pointed out. First up, that being artist OCs. I love looking at and listening to artists talk about their silly little guys. They're so passionate about like these characters that they create and put so much like love and attention into that like it's really wonderful to hear people talk about their passions. I really like it. Some artists in particular that I would like to point out that I really have enjoyed their OC content is Hyerka, Actually Ray, Sinahi, Starfish Face, Rotania, and Toasty Glow. Yay! If you want to check out all of these people, here you go. Hyerka has his beautiful gay OCs named Matt and Emil. They're both mercenaries in like a fantasy setting. One of them may or may not have been a prince, and one of them may or may not have been the guard, and whoopsie daisy, things went bad, and now they're both mercenaries, and it's like 15 years later, and there's trauma involved. Actually Ray, they have their entire like universe called the Prism universe. There's so much going on there. I don't have time to explain it, except that they actually have the best OC in the world who was named Apollo. Every other Apollo, shit, garbage, trash man. This Apollo, sad, wet wife man. Let's go. Also, everyone else. Sinahi, another incredible artist. Also, I think they're on Twitch a lot. Gay elf princes. Huh? Intriguing, I know. Next up, Starfish Face, the creator of Cast Off, the comic series, and also she is currently working on a like book series based around her like D&D OCs, which I am so very excited for. Rotania is the artist behind Starcatcher, as I might have mentioned earlier. I don't know if I cut it out or not. Starcatcher is actually a college AU of her like original story called Star Children, which is fucking insane. Oh my God. If you want a recommendation, go read Star Children. I love that. It's very good. Last but not least, we have Toasty Glow. Toast. My toast. I love toast. If you've ever seen the Escape from Divinity series on YouTube, oh, I've been watching these for years. I love it. It finally wrapped up earlier this year, and the ending was just... oh, perfection. I love your little guys. Thank you for all the good art. Thank you. Next up, metal covers. At one point, I got really into listening to metal covers, specifically of the one song from The Phantom of the Opera by Tommy Johansson. He does a great job. He fucking kills it. And then... PPC, what is that, you might ask? The good thing about recording this entire thing already was that the first time I went through, I could not for the life of me figure out what PPC meant. I wrote it down on the note on my phone, could not decipher it. I figured it out a few days later. PPC stands for Pink Pony Club. There's a metal version of Pink Pony Club that fucking slaps. It's so goddamn good. Next up, I watched every single My Hero Academia animatic from Neil Illustrator. When I say I watched them, I mean I watched at least 2 of them every single day for 2 weeks. I've never seen My Hero Academia before. I never will see My Hero Academia. I watched all of these religiously. Neil, great stuff. Next up, Hosier. I got really into Hosier for a while. I think he's great. I love his music. However, it's very sad. I can only listen to it so much. However, it's very good. It's very good. He's so talented. Oh my God, he's a beautiful man. Next up, Craigslist and Facebook Marketplace. I hate both of these sites. However, I have needed some goods off of them. So I have been checking them at what I can only describe as lunatic intervals. Whenever I need something from any of these sites, I go on there and I refresh the page, I don't know, every 45 minutes. And I just check it like 20 times a day. It's bad. However, I need these things. I had the worst experience the other day with someone on Facebook Marketplace. I don't want to get into it. Long story short, I considered hiring an Etsy witch to curse her entire bloodline. I've had a bad time. Next up, the song No Surprise by Daughtry. You know Daughtry, the band by Chris Daughtry with the chin strap? This is a very good song. I've listened to it far too many times. The last little not quite hyperfixation I've had this year is listening to other people's obsession with lads, that being Love and Deep Space, that being another gacha game. This one centered around dating hot guys who are all obsessed with you. I gotta say, I genuinely love listening to people talk about Love and Deep Space. I think it's so silly. I think it's so fun. I really enjoy how into it other people are getting. I have not played lads myself. I will not play lads myself. I quite frankly cannot play lads myself. Every single bit of actual Love and Deep Space gameplay that I've seen, it sends me into a fight or flight response. It really does. I want to get out of there immediately. I do not enjoy it. However, other people talking about it, I love. Yes, I do want to hear you justify why your childhood best friend turned intergalactic war criminal is a better love interest than, I don't know, the painter. Yeah, the mafia boss. He's great. You know who else would be great? The Doctor. Or Xavier. I can't fucking figure out what Xavier does for work. One of them's a mermaid. How does that make sense? I don't know, but it's so fucking entertaining. As I've mentioned, there are a ton of things here, and they might seem like very, very strange, a very strange little soup of hyperfixations that I have going on here. However, if I could give you a little look into my dark, twisted mind, they're all connected, baby. If you've ever wondered what the inside of my brain looks like, kind of looks like this. So, to give you the entire rundown of how we got to where we are now. Things started off strong with Epic the Musical. Everything leads back to Epic the Musical. I was really into Epic for a while. From Epic, I discovered a bunch of new artists, one of them specifically being Hyerka. I love his little guys, Matt and Emil, such little cuties. One of the OC animatics he made was set to the Phantom of the Opera metal cover, which sent me down that little metal rabbit hole. Another one was in fact set to No Surprise by Daughtry. That's how I got there. These are months apart. I've been looking at it the entire time. Unrelated to that, another animatic was in fact set to Hosier, who I love Hosier. We all love Hosier. However, around the same time that this came out, I also got really into Hunger Games again. And look, immediately the Hunger Games, the Hosier, it all connected together. I have a fully planned out animatic for Sunrise on the Reaping set to a Hosier song. Have I made it? Nope. I got really into it and then motherfucker, my camera died. There we go, baby. Look at that. Look who got a new camera battery. I'm learning. Okay. As I was saying, I got really into it. I tried to draw it all out. I got the drawing wind knocked out of me. I got so tired that I was like, I can't animate this whole thing. I can barely draw a few pictures. By the time the movie comes out next November, I'll be right back in there. Don't you worry. I'm going to have that animatic done. I promise you that. Don't quote me on that, but I will have that animatic done. Going back to Epic. We're not done yet. Of course, Neil. We all know Neil. We love Neil. I just got fucking so into the My Hero Academia animatics. I can't explain why, but they're just really well animated. Somehow, the My Hero Academia animatics led to Genshin Impact animatics, which led me to Livy Art, and of course, her beautiful Into You music video. My God, I love that. Back to Neil. One of these animatics is in fact set to the song C'est La Vie by Young Gravy, Rich Brian, and Baby No Money. I had heard about Baby No Money before when he did that collab song with Smosh, which 10 out of 10, love it. Submissive and Breedable, go check it out. That just really set me off on that one. Hey, who can blame me? It's fine, it happens. It happens to the best of us. Back up here to Epic. Just kidding. Actually unrelated to Epic, if you'll believe it, I started reading The Prince's Poison Vow. As soon as I started reading this book, it was around the same time when I got into Hyerka's OCs. I took one little look at Matt and I was like, fuck, that looks like Soren. That looks like Soren. These two just fed off of each other real good. Every time I see him, I'm like, ah! Love the OCs, love them. True. Don't steal other people's OCs, by the way. Don't do that. That's how I imagined Soren to look. Similar. I'm working on my own design, don't you worry. Why am I working on my own design? I may or may not have planned out an entire animatic for Prince's Poison Vow set to the song Ordinary by Alex Warren. I have the entire fucking thing planned out. I cannot stress this enough. It's so good. Once I learn how to draw and animate, you're all so fucking cooked. It's gonna be so goddamn good. Oh my God. Oh my God. Now back to Prince's Poison Vow. At this time, I was just, there was a lot of yaoi art. Again, there's no art for Prince's Poison Vow, so I was taking any yaoi I could get. What did I stumble across one day on Pinterest? But KLANCE. They got me good. They got me when I was down. They got me when I was weak. They kicked me in the fucking gut. I've just been so KLANCE pilled for like the past 7 months. It's been horrible, but I love it. They're so cute. Anyway, around this time, I really wanted a way to talk about KLANCE without having to bring up that I was really into KLANCE. So I made a little video where I asked y'all to give me your favorite queer ships so that I could rank them in the hopes that one of you would submit KLANCE. And you fell right into my trap perfectly. I was able to talk about KLANCE and my love for KLANCE and also be able to talk about my love for Prince's Poison Vow. 2 birds with 1 stone. From this video, y'all gave me some ideas. One of those ideas was Tommy and Luke from Starcatcher. You were talking about how lovely of a couple they were. Fell down a little hole. I started reading Starcatcher. Absolutely fucking loved it. Got a little too into Starcatcher. Started stalking the artist on their Instagram. What do I find but some crossover art with the characters from Osora? I had finished Starcatcher. The first season had ended. I had nothing else to do. So what do? I start reading Osora. I read through this entire thing. I loved it. I have read through both of these entire things at least 3 times. I just keep going back for more and more and more. They're so goddamn good. Wouldn't you know it, the other day I opened up my Webtoons app on my usual date when I read Osora, when the new episode comes out, and what do I see but a little sign that says, you have to wait 64 more days for the next episode to come out. What do you mean? Hey, this is a break being taken by the artist so that they can, draw more things for me to consume. So they're like, that's totally fine. That's totally fine. Webtoons is trying to get me to pay to look at these ones early. I'm not going to do it. It's not going to happen. Artists, please take your time. You're wonderful. However, I was in a yaoi rut. And what stumbled across my YouTube screen? The trailer for Heated Rivalry. Look, I needed something to fill the yaoi void in my life, and these 2 little hockey boys fit right in there perfectly. I have no excuse for that. I just really like it. It's really fun. This is where I'm currently at. It's so good. A new episode comes out in a few days. As of recording this, the 3rd episode just dropped. Oh my God, it was so good. You didn't even see these 2. It was about an entirely different person. It was incredibly well written. Oh my God. Going back to the queer ships video. By the way, this is not me saying that I was hyperfixated on my own video. This is a way of me using my hyperfixation to sneakily trick all of you guys. Ha ha ha, I got you. Anyway, someone else duped me into listening to Malevolent. Y'all. This podcast is so fucking good. Oh my God. 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 I have listened to upwards of 50 hours of content from this podcast within a month and a week about. I'm on the last season. I think the last season is currently airing. I'm going to catch it before it ends. I'm going to get you. I'm going to get you. Don't you worry about it. Oh my God. Arthur and John are so toxic. I love them, but they're so toxic. Circling back around. We're going back up here, back up to KLANCE, baby. What pops up on my YouTube feed out of the blue is one song by young Conan Gray here. That song being this song. I watched that music video. It was so sweet and so wonderful. What did I immediately think of? KLANCE. I animated one thing this year, and it's these 2. It's crossover, yay! I regret nothing. I love it. I think it turned out great. But that just sent me fucking spiraling. It really did. I have ideas for more. The entire Wishbone music video trilogy. Oh, A+ KLANCE content right there, baby. Someone else go do the rest of the work. I don't want to do it. Now, unrelated to everything else here, KPop Demon Hunters, save me. Save me from the demons in my head, please. I need help. And with that brings us to an end of all of my little hyperfixations that I've gotten on this year. Now, as of recording this, it is currently December 6th. That's quite early in the year. There's still a full month left. There's still plenty of time for me to get caught on another hook of something. However, I have some plans later in the month that will prevent me from filming this any later. So, future me, anything you would like to add to this list? Great. Anyway, I very much appreciate you listening to me talk about my little guys that I've wanted to talk about all year but didn't want to annoy you with. I might have annoyed you with some of them. This is not the first time you've heard about KLANCE, and it won't be the last time. Prince's Poison Vow. Everyone, go read Prince's Poison Vow. Also, Malevolent, the podcast. It's very, very good. Anyway, if you've spent this year gobbled up by one specific hyperfixation, please let me know. I'm very curious. I'm very curious to know what gets your guys' goats. Anyway, if over the next few weeks y'all just see some weird animation stuff popping up, you can ignore it. It's fine. I mean, you can watch it if you want to, but just ignore it. I'm going to try something out. I have so many animatics in my brain that I need to make. I'm going to be working on it. Anyway, that's all. I hope you all have a lovely holiday season. I hope you all have a great new year. Don't do drugs. Bye. The fact that I listen to any music at all is quite good, by the way. Oh yeah, I didn't have a fun little pointer for this, so we're just going with Long Claw. Dude, don't get me started on hyperfixations. I don't want to talk about Game of Thrones right now. If I had to describe it, it's like a steampunk geopolitical fantasy. I don't want to say it's like Game of Thrones, but that's the easiest way to describe what this is. It's kind of like Game of Thrones. Oh my God. This is getting off track. I'm getting off track. Oh my god. Yeah, I want to talk about it. Oh, speaking of spinoffs, I saw the trailer for Dunkin' Egg this morning. It's not called Dunkin' Egg. What is it called? That is Seven Kingdoms. I don't mean that to also be a soulless cash grab. I really like Dunkin' Egg. Don't stop talking about Game of Thrones. Jesus Christ. Truly, at this point, I probably won't watch any of it. Look, I know it was good at one point, but it's kind of like Game of Thrones. I swear I wasn't planning on talking about Game of Thrones so much. It is kind of about these two, you know. However, also it is about this fucking like fantastical like fantasy kingdom, and there's so much stuff going on, and there's like back to the geopolitical fucking fantasy that I had in the other one. It's the same thing. I have a thing